disagreement between groups of any size from two people to an entire nation. So basically, interpersonal conflict is you and another person, or you and a group of people, or your group of people and another group of people. They can start from minor problems like siblings arguing. I don't know if anyone here has siblings, but I do, and me and my sister used to butt heads a lot about who gets to play with what toys when we were little, to watching TV, because we only had one TV to watch growing up. And then it could also be a larger problem like how the community spends their funds for maybe a new park, or maybe a new parking lot for the school, things along that line. So causes for conflict, there's different ways they can start. It can happen without any intent. So say you're in the hallway and you're on your phone, you're not paying attention to where you're going, you bump into someone. That can cause a conflict, and it wasn't on purpose. Does that make sense to everybody? It's an accidental conflict. And then there's other ways that can happen, like deliberately, like in that picture, you see that guy tripping that woman, he obviously meant to do that. So that's not something we want to do, and that's a way that conflict starts. In a personal relationship, conflicts can be started when one party wants to have control over the other. I don't know if anyone here has ever been in a relationship with a significant other, but it happens sometimes. People fight, they break up, or they work through it, and a lot of times if someone is constantly picking a fight with you in a relationship, they want to hold power over you and show that they're like a bigger person than you, so they can like boss you around, things like that. So you can choose how you respond to conflict. There's basically two ways you can do it. You can face the conflict head on and try to resolve it, or you can ignore it. And depending on the situation, you have to use one or the other. So say someone is talking bad about your mama to you in the lunchroom, and you're like, I don't want you to talk bad about my mama. So what if you talk back to them and start saying something about their mom? That's not going to resolve anything, but that's a way you can fix it. Or they're talking bad about your mama, you can ignore it and just be like, all right, whatever, and it can end that way. When you're choosing how to respond, you should keep in mind that your main concern is your health and safety. So if the person that is talking to you in the lunchroom, if they're known to have an aggressive streak, maybe saying things back to them isn't the best idea, because that could cause more problems, and it could lead to you getting hurt, or someone else getting hurt, or the person across from you getting hurt. So conflict resolution, it's how you resolve conflict, basically. It's in the name. Does anyone know like a good strategy to resolve a conflict they've tried before? Yes.
Try to have both people stay calm and talk about the subject and not attack each other, just attack the problem.
That is an awesome answer. That's almost straight out of your book. The main important thing when doing conflict resolution, you'll see later in the slides, is that you need to be calm and collected. Like nothing can get done if both sides are very heated in the moment and yelling at each other, because neither side's going to listen to them, so they're just going to try to prove their point, and you're not going to pay attention to what the other party's saying to you. So, like I just said, respect. It's the only way to solve a conflict. If the two parties don't show respect, there's no way that the conflict can end. The conflict can go on, and it'll never be resolved. And if you can't have respect for someone else unless you have respect for yourself to start, and it's very important that you respect yourself. And to have respect for yourself means that you recognize that you have your own rights to your own opinion and everything. Like it's not like the other person, just because their views are different doesn't mean they have to be right. You can have your own views, and if they're different from them, then if you have respect for yourself, then you understand that that's the right thing to do, and you have your own opinions. Negotiation. This is a tactic to use when you're trying to resolve a big conflict that maybe is going on for a while. So you can use communication and compromise to settle disagreement. The negotiation process involves listening and considering the other person's point of view. So has anyone ever seen a negotiation or heard of what negotiation is before in their personal lives? Yes.
Negotiation can really be anything from saying some compromising to bombing another country.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to do it. Anyone else? big
Yeah.
jump from that to other, that's the very quickly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't say I'm wrong.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I've played video games before where you can negotiate with people. If you've seen Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi's known as the negotiator because he's good at talking to other people and calming down situations without having that conflict. So maybe bombing isn't always the best way to negotiate with somebody.
Give me money.
Yeah. Maybe that should be a different tactic before you start bombing.
I mean, I'm not wrong. You can't say I'm wrong.
I think you should try diplomacy before you start talking.
Well, yes. I mean, like, it can escalate to that point.
No, you just
if
start
negotiation doesn't go very
Okay, well, we're not gonna talk about dropping any bombs anytime
Like,
today with our
I'm not
negotiation.
meaning that I'm going to. I'm never going to. That's a wrong thing to do.
You start with it, then you go to the conversation.
So, prepare for negotiation. When you're trying to resolve a conflict and you want to negotiate with somebody, don't go into something you don't really care about and like go and fight with somebody about something that's not important. So if it's an issue, like say you're an issue that's important to you, say you're a huge Cubs fan for some reason, and I'm sorry for you if you are, but you're trying to argue with someone that's a Sox fan, and they're talking about some trade that happened years ago, but you really don't care that much about the trade. Like, why would you go into an argument about it, especially if like it doesn't mean anything to you? Check your facts too. You don't want to be in an argument or a negotiation and say something that's wrong and have them call you out for it, because that's not fun. I've had many arguments with my parents where I've been called out on having incorrect facts, and it's not fun for me because parents are always right apparently, even when I feel like I'm right. But that's a different topic. Remind yourself that your goal is to find a solution, not to win. Many people, when they're trying to resolve a conflict, feel like there should be a winner, and that's not always the case. Doesn't have to be a winning side when you're resolving a conflict. Rehearse what you say, you must script it out. That's for a situation where maybe you and your friend have been butting heads for a while, and you guys are deciding like, no, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk it over, and we're gonna figure out how to deal with the situation because we've been fighting for a while. This isn't something you do like if someone bumps into you in the cafeteria and now you're mad at them, you're not gonna go sit down and script out something to say to them. So yeah. So steps to negotiation, set a time and place to work out the problem. Both parties have to be there if you're gonna negotiate. You can't show up, if you can't try to talk to someone if they're not there. I guess that makes sense. Work together toward a solution. So like I said just now, you don't wanna have to win, you wanna find a solution to deal with the problem. Keep an open mind. If you don't have an open mind and when listening to someone, nothing's gonna get solved because you're just gonna think you're right and not even listen to what the other person has to say. Being flexible, that's important for compromise, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And take responsibility, because maybe sometimes you're in the wrong and you realize that midway through and you're like, wow, I was actually being a total jerk to this person and I should take responsibility and apologize. And always be ready to get the person out. So if you can tell someone's being embarrassed or uncomfortable, maybe be like, hey, we can talk about this a different time and put it off to a later date. The mediation process. When I first read this, I thought it said meditation, because I read it a little quickly, and I made a slide about meditation. I was like, why am I making a slide about meditation? And I'm like, oh, it's mediation. So mediation is a process in which, especially trained people, help others resolve a conflict. I don't know if anyone here has ever seen Marriage Story on Netflix, but they had a marriage counselor who is basically a mediator, and they were talking to the counselor, a third party, to try to resolve their problems in their marriage. A mediator can be very beneficial because it helps break up the butting of the heads, and they can have like a different point of view to what the conflict is and maybe help settle two parties down. A peer mediator has to be, everything they say is confidential, which means they can't share their secrets or like details, and that's really important so you feel safe and you're in a safe environment when you're talking to someone like that. Peer mediators, I don't know if you guys had this at your school, but my high school, we had that where students would go, and if they had a problem, they could go to another student who was trained to be a peer mediator, and they could talk it out with that person and help resolve the conflict. And I've actually gone to it before because I had a problem with one of my teammates, and we were button heads, and we went to one of my other teammates who's actually a peer mediator, and we talked about it for a little bit. It was over something real stupid about who wore someone's shirt to practice. It was high school drama. I mean, looking back on it, it was very dumb, but the peer mediator helped us resolve the conflict. And it's a little nicer if someone's maybe your age and they understand going to someone who's like just a regular mediator and maybe is a little bit older than you. They might not understand like the situation or how you're feeling about it. So peer mediation is always very beneficial. So review, can anyone tell me what a conflict is?
A disagreement, fight, or really anything to do with needing negotiation.
Very good. So can someone tell me what might cause a conflict? Not jumping dots. Yes. Disagreement. Yes. Anyway, let's do some personal. Like, what might cause a conflict, like in school? If you're walking down the hall, what's something that can happen?
Bumping someone.
Well, I'm with someone. Yeah, I said that a lot. What else?
Purposely tripping someone.
Purposely tripping someone. Yes, that can cause a conflict.
Closing the door on them.
Yep, not holding the door for someone or slamming in their face. That can cause a conflict as well.
Owen.
Yeah, well, you can't be closing doors on your friends like that.
It was one time. It's so different other things.
Did you guys use any conflict resolution to solve that problem, or did you
No, we
know?
just laughed it off.
Because you're friends, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How can we avoid a conflict? What are ways we can avoid them?
Use your eyes.
Use your eyes? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
How so? How can we use our eyes to avoid conflict?
Look where you're going.
Yeah, that's, oh yeah, going with the bumping into someone. What else?
I mean,
Stay away from people, I guess, yeah, if you don't want to have conflict, you can
yeah.
isolate yourself.
Isolation.
Yeah.
No.
Any
The
other
best
ways?
way to deal with a conflict isn't to ignore it, it's to always act upon it whether or not you're going to like it or not.
Yes.
Even if you're in the wrong.
Well, I mean, it depends on the situation, because say someone's just trying to rise out of you, like say, I'm just talking to him and saying a lot of mean things to him for no reason. Like, I'm just trying to get a rise out of him and there's no point to it, but if he ignores me, eventually I'll stop, because obviously it's not working. So a conflict like that, it might work, but if someone's like repeatedly every day, like bumping into you, pushing you, tripping you, maybe saying something might help.
Yeah.
So why is it important to have respect for yourself and others?
I'll let someone else answer.
I was about to say anyone else besides you. Anyone tell
Keep
me?
answering.
Yes.
Please, respect is a good way to solve problems and to stop problems from happening.
Yes, and having respect for someone is just a general rule of thumb. You shouldn't be disrespectful to people for no reason, and you shouldn't give someone a reason to be disrespectful to you. So that's always important to have respect for yourself. And it's also important with conflict resolution because you have to respect the other person's beliefs and your own beliefs, like I said in the slide. So how do you negotiate with somebody? It's somebody else, please. Yes?
Be calm and collected and try to talk about the problem and not attack the other person and just try to sort it out.
Yes, negotiation is about winning too. It's always about trying to make everyone happy at the end, basically. And what is peer mediation? We just talked about it. Not you, and not the guy in the green jacket.
Just pick someone random. Nobody's raising their hands.
Yes, go ahead.
Isn't it like the trained student who's like, has to help with arguments with like other students?
Yeah, a peer mediator is someone, it's like having a third party. They don't always have to be trained to. You can go up to someone that maybe like, hey, can you maybe help us solve this problem? Because they at least have a different point of view, which that can always be beneficial for a conflict. And it also helps a peer mediator because they are around your age and they can look at things with your point of view. And that is everything. So on the board it says join.quizzy.com. The code is right there.